Welcome back to Change Your Life. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Susan B. Anthony dollar value coins. In this video, we'll explore the worth, iconic design, hidden treasures, and shocking history behind the top 3 most valuable and expensive Susan B. Anthony dollars from the United States of America. We'll be revealing rare coins from 1979D, 1979S, and 1999P mint marks. These are copper-nickel clad coins, created during a historic shift in U.S. dollar coinage. At first glance, these coins look ordinary. Many appear dirty, worn, or heavily circulated. But don't be fooled. Some Susan B. Anthony dollars show rare color variations, ranging from reddish tones to dark brown shades, making them a major target for serious coin collectors and investors. And today, some of these seemingly ordinary dollar coins could be worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars. So before you spend that old dollar coin, stick around, because you might be holding a fortune in your hands. Backhand index pointing right first up. Coin number 1. The Susan B. Anthony dollar is one of the most misunderstood coins in American history. At first glance, it looks ordinary. Small. Silver-colored. Often dirty. Often ignored. But history has a habit of hiding power inside the most underestimated objects, and this coin is a perfect example of that quiet danger. When the United States Mint released the Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979, it was meant to change everything. It was the first U.S. coin to honor a real woman, not a symbolic figure, not a goddess, not a myth, but a human being who fought the system itself. Susan B. Anthony was not chosen for beauty. She was chosen for resistance. And that spirit is baked into this coin in ways most people never notice. The 1979 Denver minted Susan B. Anthony dollar entered circulation during a time of confusion. Americans rejected it almost instantly. It was too close in size to a quarter. Vending machines rejected it. Cashiers hated it. People shoved it into drawers, glove boxes, and jars. Millions were struck, yes, but circulation does not mean survival. Coins that circulate heavily do not age gracefully. They suffer. They darken. They tone. They stain. And some of them, under very specific conditions, transform into something collectors obsess over decades later. That is where the story turns uncomfortable. Some 1979D Susan B. Anthony dollars developed unusual color changes, deep reds, burnt browns, dark chocolate hues creeping across the copper-nickel surface. These colors were never intended. They were never planned. They came from environmental reactions, metal exposure, storage accidents, and time itself. To an untrained eye, these coins look ruined. Dirty. Worn. Almost worthless. But in the world of advanced collectors, color is not damage, it is evidence. Evidence that something went wrong. Or very right. Here is where the shock begins. Collectors do not hunt this coin because it is common. They hunt it because it is unpredictable. A heavily circulated Susan B. Anthony dollar with aggressive wear tells a story of movement, thousands of hands, thousands of transactions, years of survival. When that wear combines with rare toning patterns, unusual surface reactions, or striking anomalies, the coin stops being money and starts becoming a question. And questions are expensive in numismatics. The rarest coins are not always the prettiest. They are the ones no one can easily explain. There are stories, quiet ones, about Susan B. Anthony dollars pulled from circulation that defied classification. Coins that failed grading standards. Coins that confused experts. Coins that showed metal behavior inconsistent with standard production. In the highest levels of collecting, confusion creates value. Not overnight hype, but long, patient, dangerous value. These are the coins that change hands privately. No auctions. No headlines. Just whispers. The irony is brutal. Most people spend these coins without a second thought. Some even throw them away. And yet, in rare scenarios, the right Susan B. Anthony dollar, wrong color, wrong surface, wrong look, can become the centerpiece of a collection worth more than houses, businesses, even lifetimes of savings. Not because it is Susan B. Anthony, but because it survived in a way it was never supposed to. This is why experienced collectors warn against rushing. A dirty coin is not automatically a bad coin. A worn coin is not automatically a dead coin. Cleaning, polishing, or spending a misunderstood piece can destroy its future forever. The value is not in shine. It is in originality. In untouched surfaces. In honest damage. In time. The Susan B. Anthony dollar carries another uncomfortable truth. It represents a failed experiment. The U.S. Mint tried to force change. The public rejected it. And rejection often creates rarity, not in numbers, but in attention. Coins that no one respects are the ones no one studies. And the coins no one studies are the ones that surprise the market decades later. There is a reason this coin keeps returning to conversation. There is a reason collectors keep re-examining 1979 pieces. There is a reason toned, worn, ugly examples are quietly pulled aside instead of spent. Because history does not always reward beauty. Sometimes, it rewards survival. If you are holding a Susan B. Anthony dollar that looks wrong, too dark, too red, too damaged, too old, you may not be holding pocket change. You may be holding a question. And in numismatics, the right question, unanswered for long enough, can be worth far more than anyone ever expected. This coin will never shout. It will never sparkle for attention. But it waits. And sometimes, the coins that wait are the ones that change fortunes. The year is 1999. America is rushing toward a new millennium. Computers, fear, hope, and uncertainty are everywhere. And quietly, without noise, the United States Mint releases a coin most people didn't even want. A small dollar. Heavy in the hand. Ignored in the pocket. The 1999 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar. Most Americans never asked for it. Cashiers confused it with quarters. People spent it without looking. Some threw it into drawers. Some forgot it forever. But history doesn't care what people notice. History only cares what survives. This coin was never meant to be common. That is the first shock. For years, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was considered a failure. Minted, rejected, abandoned. Production stopped. The story should have ended there. But demand returned suddenly in 1999, when dollar coins were needed again, fast. And the mint made a decision that would later confuse collectors and ignite curiosity. The 1999 P issue was not part of a normal long-term plan. It was a sudden revival. A coin pulled back from the dead. Struck quickly. Released quietly. No celebration. No warning. Just circulation. The design itself feels cold and serious. Susan B. Anthony's face looks straight ahead. Unemotional. Almost defiant. A reminder that this coin was never about beauty. It was about function. And sometimes, the most functional objects become the most misunderstood. Turn the coin in your fingers. Look at the surface. That unusual red to dark brown shade. That isn't paint. That isn't dirt alone. That color tells a deeper story. A reaction between metal, air, time, and human touch. Copper hidden beneath nickel. Years of circulation. Sweat. Pockets. Drawers. Registers. Life. This is not a museum coin. This is a survivor coin. Scratches run across the surface like scars. Edges are soft. details flattened. This dollar has worked for a living. And that heavy circulation is exactly what makes some collectors stop and stare. Because history isn't always shiny. Sometimes history is worn. Here is where imagination meets reality. Millions were made, yes. But millions were also spent. Lost. Damaged. Melted. Forgotten. Time filters coins brutally. And only certain examples remain to tell the full story. The shocking part is not what this coin is worth today. The shocking part is what people believe it could become. Because every great numismatic legend starts the same way. With a coin everyone ignored. Collectors don't just look at dates. They look at moments. 1999 was a moment of transition. The last year before the world changed. Before digital money took over. Before cash slowly began to disappear. And this dollar sits right on that edge. Is every 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar worth a fortune? No. But history has never rewarded everyone. History rewards the few who pause. Who look closer. Who don't rush. Some coins gain power not because of silver content. But because of narrative. Scarcity of attention. Confusion. Misuse. Short production windows. Unexpected returns. These are the ingredients that collectors obsess over decades later. Today, someone somewhere is holding one of these dollars. Dirty. Worn. Heavy. Unassuming. They might be thinking it's just a dollar. They might be wrong. Because value is not always immediate. Sometimes it sleeps. Sometimes it waits for the right generation to care. And when that moment arrives, prices don't whisper. They explode. So before you spend it. Before you toss it aside. Before you ignore it like millions before you did. Stop. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Feel the weight. Feel the history. Because some coins don't change your life the day you find them. They change your life the day everyone else finally understands them. And by then, it's already too late to buy them cheap. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar with the San Francisco mint mark did not enter the world as a legend. It arrived quietly, almost unnoticed, during a time when Americans were already tired of change. Smaller than a traditional dollar, confusingly close to a quarter, and emotionally disconnected from the public, this coin was rejected almost the moment it appeared. People didn't collect it. They didn't respect it. They spent it, dropped it, scratched it, and forgot about it. And history loves coins that are forgotten first. This was never meant to be a treasure coin. It was a utility coin. A replacement. A solution that failed. And when something fails at a national level, it leaves behind chaos, production rushes, mixed metal batches, storage mistakes, and coins that age in ways the mint never planned. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar exists inside that chaos. While most examples remained bright and ordinary, a tiny number traveled a darker path. Exposure to air, heat, moisture, and human handling slowly transformed their copper-nickel skin into deep reds, burnt browns, and uneven shadowed tones. To everyday eyes, they look dirty. To advanced collectors, they look dangerous. In numismatics, danger means uncertainty. And uncertainty is where serious money hides. These darkened Susan B. Anthony dollars are not valuable because they are shiny. They are valuable because they are wrong. The color is wrong. The surface is wrong. The story is wrong. Coins are supposed to age predictably, and when one refuses to follow the rules, it becomes a suspect. A suspect in the best possible way. Collectors don't ask, "Is this pretty?" They ask, "Why did this happen?" And when the answer cannot be proven, the coin becomes a long-term target. The San Francisco Mint mark adds another layer of mystery. San Francisco was known for proof strikes, experiments, and special handling. Coins moved through different environments than Philadelphia or Denver pieces. Some were stored improperly. Some were mishandled. Some were released when they were never meant to be. Over decades, these small differences show themselves in color, texture, and tone. A red-brown Susan B. Anthony dollar is not a mistake you can recreate. It is an accident locked in time. Here is the part most people misunderstand. Heavy wear does not kill value. Sometimes, it creates it. A dollar coin that circulated hard carries physical evidence of survival. Scratches, smooth edges, and darkened metal tell a story of decades in motion. When that wear combines with unusual toning, the coin stops being just circulated and starts becoming an artifact. An object that lived a life outside the mint's control. There are collector stories, never shouted, never advertised, about Susan B. Anthony dollars rejected by grading services because they were too unusual. Coins that did not fit normal categories. Coins that were not fake, but also not fully explainable. These pieces don't belong in price guides. They move privately, when they move at all. And when they do, the numbers don't make sense to outsiders. That is how myths are born. That is how million-dollar legends start. The danger is not in the coin. The danger is in rushing. Cleaning a dark Susan B. Anthony dollar destroys its future. Polishing it erases its evidence. Spending it locks its story forever. The market does not reward speed. It rewards patience. Coins that sit untouched for decades often outgrow the coins that were flipped quickly for fast money. This is why people say these coins can change lives. Not overnight in reality, but over time, in silence, through the slow pressure of scarcity and obsession. One collector wants it because of the color. Another because of the mystery. Another because it doesn't match anything else they've seen. When demand is emotional instead of logical, price stops behaving normally. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar represents failure, rebellion, and quiet survival. It was never loved. It was never celebrated. And that is exactly why it keeps returning to conversations today. The coins that scream for attention burn out fast. The coins that wait, grow heavier with time. If you are holding a Susan B. Anthony dollar that looks wrong, too dark, too red, too worn, too uncomfortable to explain, you are not holding pocket change. You are holding a question. And in American coin history, the right unanswered question can be worth more than anyone expected when the coin first left the mint. This coin does not promise riches. It threatens possibility. And sometimes, possibility is more powerful than certainty.